today forward, your lives will be forever changed.
Wei, Jackie Ma, I'm in.
Find a way to make him trust you. We want the Red Poles, the lieutenants, all of them.
Do whatever it takes.
Sleeping Dogs is an amazing open-world action adventure. The game is set in a style similar to Grand Theft Auto, with many mechanics really similar, but all with its own style and personality. In the game you can explore the world in different ways: bikes, cars, bus, and much more. The combat is divided in two different ways: fighting and different weapons such as pistols, rifles, and more. The biggest part of the game, the combat, will be like a beat 'em up, with many different moves. What's really good, and as you advance in the game you'll be learning new moves. What's always good, cause it'll not feel repetitive. The game was developed by the studio United Front Games and released in 2012 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, but later it was also released for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One with a definitive edition version with more content and a better performance in general. So if you're searching for a great open-world game that you didn't play, this one is really good.
He's only.
I'm not fucking blind.
Relax, old boy. We're on the same side, remember?
條友都幾串喎。喂，有冇貨？
Yeah, you got the money?
喂，前方右邊
咩啊？
有個碼頭警衛，佢由後面上緊嚟啊！
揾人截住佢啦！
冇可能，我哋呢度太遠啦路。
Before this whole thing started, I just floated through life. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but my life didn't start until the world came to an end.
All right, nerds, this ends now!
I sense some epic missions in my future.
To battle!
Sunset Overdrive is an action open-world game with a lot of charisma. The studio that developed the game is Insomniac Games. Yeah, the same studio of Spider-Man games of PlayStation. But the interesting part is that this game is exclusive of Xbox One and PC, and it was released in 2014, of course before of Sony buying the studio. Sunset Overdrive transforms an open-world apocalypse into your tactical playground. Zip, grind, and wall run across Sunset City with an unconventional arsenal. Hyper-agility, unique weapons, and customizable abilities deliver an explosive and irreverent adventure in the end times. The world is colored and beautiful, and despite it's in a catastrophe, the game is really charismatic and funny even, with quirky characters, cosplayers, and much more. The best thing by far of the game is the gameplay that's fast, stylish, and really immersive, with many possibilities, grinding everywhere, even in the wires of the streets, jumping in many different places, and shooting with a lot of weapons. So believe me, you won't regret playing this game if you want to have fun.
We'll take Bisco down. Or we won't, but we'll get some wicked respawn animations.
Mirror's Edge is an insane first-person game about parkour, one of the best games in this style to this day. It was developed by the studio DICE, from EA Games, the same studio of Battlefield series, and it was released in 2008 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Windows, and it's now available on iOS and Windows Phone too, but unfortunately there's no version to the new consoles. In a city where information is heavily monitored, couriers called runners transport sensitive data. In this seemingly utopian paradise, a crime has been committed, and you are being hunted. You are a runner called Faith, and this innovative first-person action adventure is your story. The gameplay is fast and fun, with many different parkour movements, such as jumps, wall running, climbing, and much more. The game has a sequel, but it's not as good as the first game, so play the first one, that's really fun and unique. Sifu is a realistic third-person brawler with tight kung fu combat mechanics and cinematic martial arts action, embarking you on a path for revenge. A game developed by the studio Slocklap and released in 2023 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, Nintendo Switch and Windows, and is an amazing game that mixes a beat-em-up with a challenging tight gameplay that many Souls-like fans loved. Whether you choose to play as a male or a female character, in Sifu you will ponder that question on your path for revenge, hunting down your family's assassins. One against all, you have no allies, countless enemies, and a mysterious amulet to bring you back to life every time you die. Yet, be warned, your secret weapon comes with a hefty price to pay, aging and its consequences. Every time you die you'll return older, so it'll start making the character weaker in some point, so it'll be even harder now. This mechanic is interesting for players that like to master the mechanics of the game, so it's a good challenge to try to beat the game as younger as you can.
Amicia, I want to see Mommy.
Hugo.
I want her to come back.
I'll carry you. Mommy is dead, Hugo. You'll never see her again. Go away! Hugo, no! Leave me alone.
Don't take too long.
I hate you.
It's for your own good, Hugo.
I'm sorry, I'm sick.
They've come back.
Everything is alright now.
A Plague Tale: Innocence is an amazing and riveting action game. It's one of those games with a rich and powerful storyline, but still with an immersive and good gameplay. It was developed by the studio Asobo Studio and released in 2019 to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and later to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Amazon Luna. Follow the grim tale of young Amicia and her little brother Hugo in a heartrending journey through the darkest hours of history. Hunted by Inquisition soldiers and surrounded by unstoppable swarms of rats, Amicia and Hugo will come to know and trust each other. As they struggle to survive against overwhelming odds, they will fight to find purpose in this brutal, unforgiving world. An excellent game for fans of medieval stories or even games with a good storytelling, so if you never played, do it, you won't regret. And the sequel was already released, and it's called A Plague Tale Requiem, and is a very good experience too.
Why does she keep resisting like that? Only our methods differ. We have the same goal. We both fight the plague.
Fair warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. My brother was just a kid when they took him. You called me. So here I am.
Control is another game developed by the studio Remedy Entertainment. It was released in 2019 and was also running for the Game of the Year, but didn't get it too. It's available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and Windows. The game is set in the same universe of Alan Wake. There's even a DLC totally connected to Alan Wake, and it's awesome. In the game we'll explore a building that's not exactly what it seems to be. As we play we get even more connected to the world and characters, and this game, like Alan Wake 2, is a masterpiece in a matter on art direction. It's in another level, and I'm serious. The combat is a third-person shooter, and feels like a third-person Metroidvania too. As you advance you get more powers and weapons, that'll allow you to go even further. Death's Door is an incredible action-adventure game. It was developed by the studio Acid Nerve and released in 2021 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The game is set in an extremely interesting world. You're a crow, and also a reaper, and must use many different powers and weapons to reap the soul of the dead. The gameplay is really interesting, with a fluid combat, giving you different powers and weapons as you progress in the game. The structure resembles a Souls-like in some aspects, like a bonfire. When you rest there, the enemies will reappear, insane boss fights, and a little bit of difficulty, but it's not really hard. But I'm sure that if you start playing this game, you won't want to stop playing so soon.
This is incredible. Juliet, you actually made it. Fantastic.
Lollipop Chainsaw is a hidden gem of video games, an action game with a hack-and-slash approach, mixing a gorgeous female protagonist and a frantic gameplay.
I've been getting so lonely since you've been wasting all my dark purveyors.
The game was developed by the studio Grasshopper Manufacture and released in 2012 to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but in 2024 a remastered version was released with some changes, but still a very fun game, and it's available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and Series, and Windows.
This is so irritating.
San Romero High School has been overrun by zombies, and it's up to cheerleader Juliet to save the day. But Juliet isn't just any high school cheerleader. As part of a legendary family of zombie hunters, she's more than equipped to fight the undead hordes. Using her acrobatic cheerleading skills, zombie-slaying expertise, and a seriously powerful chainsaw, she'll face down an army of the living dead and the evil forces behind them. So if you missed this game in the past and want to play something in the style of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, this game is surely going to make you have a good time.
Poor Lewis here is the only one left.
And there's about to be none. Bring it on, douchebag. I'm gonna F you up.
The killer left the heart next to the body. This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual.
Alan Wake 2 is a unique horror game with an amazing storytelling that unfortunately didn't get all the attention deserved, but is surely one of the most original games ever and one of the best horror games of history.
There's something I'm forgetting. Something important.
The game was developed by Remedy Entertainment and released in 2023 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. It was even competing for the Game of the Year award in the Game Awards, but Baldur's Gate 3 was the winner as we know. But my favorite game of that year is Alan Wake 2. It's a sequel of the original game released in 2010 that was an insane horror video game with an impressive story and storytelling, and in the second game they rose it to another level with impressive realistic graphics and one of the most immersive gameplays I've ever seen, mixing terrifying moments with insane puzzles and an amazing feature of the game that allow you to connect points of the story in your own mind. What's a very interesting mechanic here?
A page of text written with a typewriter. Someone's been watching us.
How do you run from an idea? From a story that lives in your head? I need to escape this nightmare.
The soundtrack is another amazing part of the game, with original and amazing songs, and the audio design is as good as a horror game needs it to be. And don't worry, you won't understand 100% of the story in the first gameplay, but is a game that will get you thinking about it for a long time.
Show me that.
In Internet international news, a leading arms trafficker is reported to have been found executed. Mohammed Omar bin Nasri, based in a remote part of Saudi Arabia, was in possession of over $100 million worth of small arms, ammunition, missiles, and vehicles.
Alpha Protocol is a forgotten and underrated third-person game that mixes a good action with RPG mechanics, stealth gameplay, and a deep storyline, even with choices. What for a 2010 game is not as common as nowadays. The game was developed by the studio Obsidian Entertainment and released in 2010 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, but for some reason this game was never really famous. But today I'm here to introduce you this great game. Loyalty carries a price, and no one knows this more than Agent Michael Thornton. A talented young agent cast out by his government, Thornton is the only one with the information needed to stop an impending international catastrophe. So if you're searching for a forgotten game that deserves to be remembered, this is a very good one, so go ahead and have fun.
I wish I could tell you who to trust. You are operating under Alpha Protocol.